What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and this one is going to be a little bit different. As you can see, I'm in my bathroom. So there's a couple of different parts to this video. There's two different parts to this video that are going to, the eye twitch, that are going to happen at once. So, falling off, sat on my, on the toilet. Anyway, ignoring that. This is going to be a get to know me, but a different edition of a get to know me. This is a get to know me as a spiritual medium. And as well as that, also packed my bag with me to go to Scotland, because I leave for Scotland in 2 days and I still haven't packed. So I will see you after my shower. And we're back. And this is a no. Anyway, we're back with braids now, because I don't look as much like a drowned rat. We also have a bag because we are going to pack for Scotland. I haven't seen half the clothes I've got for this holiday because my mum actually bought me a bunch of clothes which I've literally just gotten back from staying at Ruby's last night. So a lot of this stuff is still in bags. So we're going to be unbagging these first, and then we'll get into the spiritual bit. So quick background on what's actually going on. I am going up to Scotland with my family for a week, which I am very excited for, because we've never been on holiday together before. A plain orange t-shirt, which I'm going to shove probably this jumper over the top of, really. I'm not much of a coloured clothes wearer. I'm very much darker clothes. I always have been that way, probably always will be that way. I also have another purple t-shirt which I'm going to wear a jumper over the top of anyway, because it's going to be cold up in Scotland, because it's meant to rain all week next week. Of course, got my music stopped. Of course is the week we're going, it's meant to just pour it down. So I have like a pinky purple t-shirt. I don't wear pink very often, and my mum bought me a pink t-shirt. You know, I appreciate it, because obviously, it's new clothes to go on holiday with. We've never been on holiday as a family before, so I really, really do appreciate it. It's just pink, obviously, isn't the colour I'm normally comfortable wearing. This next one I quite enjoy. I quite like darker colours, or weirdly blander colours. Says me in a bright red and black Chinese dragon t-shirt, or jumper even. Oh, I like this. It is just plain, but I'm hoping it's gonna be big. Genuinely, if I ever open a fan mail thing, oversized hoodies, get me large hoodies. That is genuinely, if you ever want to win my heart, oversized hoodies. I am a simple girl. Oversized hoodies, and you have won. That is any advice I give to any guy who wants to date me, is oversized hoodies. That is all you need, and you've won. So what we also have is 2 pairs of leggings, which are in black, because again, I'm a simple girl. I don't like to dress up very often. I will only do it if necessary. This is kind of the get to know me bit for part of it. This is a different type of get to know me compared to the rest of the video. I have my 2 pairs of leggings. I also have clothes here for other stuff. So we're also going to this place called the Clubhouse, which is where we're going to be spending a lot of our evenings and stuff. So I'm going to do the typical vests, jumpers. I'm going to see if I can borrow one of my mum's leather jackets. I have a lot of leggings and stuff which I'm going to be wearing. I have a pair of jeans which I'm going to take for maybe the last night we go to the Clubhouse, and a nice t-shirt for the last night we go to Clubhouse. I need 4 pairs of leggings, because we're going obviously for ages, and my mum said pack between 4 and 5 pairs of leggings, so that's now 4. I'm going to take 1 extra, because yeah, otherwise I'll panic, because I'm an overthinker. So I'm taking 5 pairs of leggings. I also need to add some extra jumpers and stuff in case it does get cold. I'm going to add some extra t-shirts into this pile, and then we'll get started in the video. Girl, I'm going to send you this now. Oh my god. A fan made an edit of me. I look like a fish. I got sent an edit that was made by a fan. I've been doing YouTube for almost 2 years, and I just got my first fan edit. I'm freaking out. I got a fan edit. I got a fan edit. What do? I don't know what to do. Like, genuinely, this edit. Oh, I love it. I also have my little koala. But oh my god, man, this edit. I have cried since I've seen it, and I saw it at like 2 hours ago, and like I forgot to tell you, but I'm telling you now because it's like ah. Okay, we're back, and I've made a colossal mess on my floor. So what we've got is this bag. It has 2 pockets, extra stuff on the side, and a laptop pouch. So essentially, I'm gonna do this first little bit off of camera because it's like personal stuff, like just little bits and bobs that I don't want on camera, and then I'll be back with the main bit. Alright, so the difficult bit's done. I've got hair bubbles, everything else I need. So I'm also taking a bunch of slipper socks because it's gonna be cold. But getting into the actual video of what is actually going on and what this is about. So I'm doing this video because as crazy as it sounds, I haven't told you guys this story before. If you guys have kept up with what I post and what I talk about on my communities page, you might know a little bit about this. So I'll try and get a screenshot up. A little while ago, I put up I'm trying to think, what was it? I put up a community post about 2 YouTubers called Sam and Colby. So I'm just going to insert that here now. Give it a second. And essentially what I said was they are my dream collab. And I said I would happily explain why, which is kind of what I'm going to do for you guys today. So ever since I was younger, hold on, let me grab like everything that I need off the bed and just kind of throw it on my floor. Ever since I was younger, I've always been very in tune spiritually. Oh, cool. I didn't know I had that. Sorry. Oh, I've got another turtleneck. I have one of these, but I didn't know, and I found it, and I now got another one. What else have I got? I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. But essentially, I'm so sorry I went off on a major tangent there. Essentially, ever since I was little, I've always been throwing stuff around now, being very in tune spiritually. If you don't know what I mean by that, essentially I've always been able to talk and see and speak, speak, hear, see and feel spirits. And obviously I know a lot of people are skeptics, understandably. As skeptics, I completely see your point. I see what you mean. It's a concept that is very difficult to grasp, and I understand that. It's not like, obviously, I'm not saying that you're stupid. Like, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is spirits are a situation that is really difficult to have an opinion on, because either way you get hated for it. Now, my opinion, because I've seen it, because I've felt it, because I've heard it, and because of all these different things, I'm a very, very strong believer in spirits and all of that type of thing. I wasn't until about the age of 12. Alexa, off. Till the age of about 12, I didn't believe. I thought it was all made up. I thought it was all stupid, and I thought people were just messing around and being stupid with the whole 3 a.m. thing. I didn't think any of it was real. Until I started experiencing things. Now, I experienced a lot of things over the course of the past almost 4 years. I figured out, like I said, when I was 12, what I was. I spoke to my granddad, and I learned about what I was, who I was, and what I could do. I learned a lot of this stuff by myself, just by kind of doing things. Luckily, I have had my granddad supporting me through the way with quite a lot of it as well. But essentially, there was one day I was on the phone with someone, I don't actually know who, I can't remember now, it was a long time ago. We were on the phone and they turned around to me and went, "Don't move." And obviously I panicked because I was like, well, why can't I move? And they turned to me and said, there's someone in your window. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I live in a 3-story house. The likelihood of someone being in my window, I said, was impossible, because I'm right on the top floor, so there's no way anyone could reach my window. And she went, don't move, I'm going to take a screenshot. So I stayed still, and obviously, because we were on FaceTime, it just, you can take FaceTime screenshots. So that's what she did. And we're sat there on FaceTime, and she sends me this photo, and clear as day, you can make out a picture of a woman. And obviously I showed it to my parents because I panicked, and they were like, oh no, it's just you, don't worry. And I showed it to my granddad, and he was like, yeah, no, that's not you. They were like, he turned around and was like, I get your parent, your mum and your dad are just trying to make sure you're okay and like not freak you out, but at the same time that's not you, and I'm not going to lie to you about it. So I was like, oh, okay, nice to know, thanks for telling me. So obviously, like, now I knew that it wasn't me in that window, and that I wasn't crazy. So essentially, after that, I start asking my granddad questions on spirits and all the rest of it. As I've said, I've been a firm believer since I was about 12. My first experience happened when I was a lot younger. I don't actually remember this happening. Spirits weren't a commonly brought up thing in my house. We kind of knew, I've always had an inkling, especially because our old house was haunted. We lived in a very, very old house, and it was very, very clear from day one that it was 100% haunted. We had multiple inklings. Stuff would happen that it was genuinely impossible to explain. So we couldn't explain it, and we knew exactly what that meant. So after that, I kind of knew, I figured it out almost, that, what I was seeing, what I was hearing, what I was feeling wasn't normal, because I was asking other people if they've ever felt that way, and they were telling me they hadn't. So obviously it was scary, definitely, to say the least. And I'm gonna need another bag. Great. But essentially, I was asking questions and I was getting answers, mostly from my granddad. I spent a lot of time talking to my granddad, I still do, about spirits. He's definitely my guide in all of this, and I'm so, so grateful for that. Because, there's so much that I've learned myself that I wouldn't have been able to learn without him. So much, about him that I've learned that I wouldn't have known if I didn't know about spirits. And essentially, I'm sorry, I'm out of room in this bag. Essentially, when I asked him about all these different things, give me 1 second to grab another bag. Bag numero dos. I also dropped my ring. Essentially, I might need another bag too. Basically, I was asking questions, and I was learning a lot, and I started to kind of understand these things, and I started to be able to control them. And that was, like I said, about 3 years ago. And about 7 weeks ago now, I think, 6-7 weeks ago, I took a group of young people who I work with, we took them to a Ali Fly museum. And when we got to the museum, I asked the tour guides, I basically went up and I explained, I was like, hi, I'm a medium. Obviously I'm new with the group, but I was wondering if, anything does happen here, if you know anything that does happen here. Obviously I was keeping it quiet because I didn't want the kids to hear. And they tell me, yes, we've had psychics and stuff come in and say, we've seen this, we've heard this, we've felt this. And I was like, okay. And they were like, listen, if you feel or see anything, just kind of tell us. And obviously before, they kept the atmosphere really light with that, which is kind of what you have to do. And they said, obviously I walked over and I was like, hi, I gave them my name, and I was like, listen, I'm a medium. And of course, you had the one dude who had to make the joke of, look me up and down and go, nah, I think you're small. I was like, I haven't heard that one before, have I? And essentially, I went through, and at first I walked through the door, and I'm very much, as soon as I walk through a door, if I feel an energy, I know if I'll go in or not. And that's the first thing I look for in every room I go in, is the energy. And if I don't like the energy, I won't go in the room. Because negative energies have a very negative impact on me and can really mess me up for a really long time. I'm very, very sensitive to energies. And essentially, I was sat there and we walked through the door, and straight away I got the feeling of, wow, I like this, but at the same time it was really, really heavy, and it was really, really mixed, and I was really confused. And I looked at one of the other people who had come, one of the other leaders who had come with us, and I was like, whoa, because she had told me literally 10 minutes beforehand that she understood because she felt it too. And I was like, whoa, is this normal when you walk in here? You know, is it normal to feel so overcome with so much at once? She was like, yeah, it happens all the time. Every time you walk in here, it's very welcoming, but at the same time, I know it's a lot. And I was like, it really is a lot. You know, it was one of those where my chest was tight, but at the same time, it felt very much like it was inviting me in. So I went in, and we're stood there, and we're going through, and I start to feel these energies. And I walk over, we walk past one specific place, and it had these like military jackets. And this one jacket caught my eye, and it felt very feminine. I don't think the jacket itself felt very feminine. I looked at it and it looked feminine. Well, but it wasn't a female officer's jacket. It was a man's jacket. And what I noticed from this jacket was the energy coming off of it felt very feminine, and it was a very strong, very, very strong energy, which I hadn't felt before. Very much everything I've ever felt has always been really faint up until this point. And I can't close my bag. Obviously that's not part of the story, I just can't close my bag. And essentially I look at the leader who I've been kind of with all night, and we've been conversating about this stuff, and I tell her how I feel about the jacket, and she goes, now that's unusual. I was like, it's really, really strong. I was like, her presence is here. And she was like, oh, okay. Well, go and tell one of the guides. So I went and told one of the guides, and they were like, oh. So one of them came back with me, and I was like, that one jacket. I pointed out the jacket, and he was like, what does the card say? And I was like, I've read the card. I know it wasn't a female's jacket. But the energy I'm getting off of the jacket is very, very feminine. I was like, I can feel a woman here. She's here with the jacket. I was like, I don't know if she's attached. I don't know if she's lost. I can't see her, but I can feel her. I was like, I know she's here. And he could tell I was getting very emotional about it. And he was like, that's fine. He was like, you know, I get that. He was like, we'll leave it at, you know, you can do that, and that's fine. He was like, anything else happens, come and tell us. And I was like, yeah, okay. Which, I need another bag. So there's not much left. Which I did, and that's what I did throughout the night. And eventually we had a break where we were just kind of, the kids had 10 minutes to sit and like play, and kind of have 10 minutes to chill before we do anything else, which they used really, really well. And because of that, one of the guys came up to me, and I was like, oh, you know, what's upstairs? And he was like, oh, the medals. There were only certain parts of the museum we were supposed to go up and see. And he went, right, we have 10 minutes. Do you want to come up and see the medals with me? So I said, yeah, sure, I would love to go and see the medals. I felt very excited. We get up the stairs, and I'm instantly drawn to a World War I medal. I'll describe it. You guys can have a Google of it. I'll try and find a photo and insert it. Essentially, it is a rainbow medal with a black leaf. And it's a World War I medal. I don't remember what it was for, but I remember this medal specifically. I don't actually know why. But I felt very drawn to it on one specific soldier. And I was having a look, and I felt a very masculine energy along with it this time. Obviously, I didn't say anything about the energy I felt because I'd kind of given up on telling them how I felt about energies, and instead ended up sat and was like, oh, like that, I feel very drawn to that specific piece of, hello, I was like, I feel really drawn to that specific one. And he was like, oh, okay. You know, he explained to me what the medal was. I was like, oh, okay. And we sat there, and he's like, right, this is another room, and he led me into the next room. And there was so much in there, and it was real stuff saved from a wreckage. And the moment I walked in there, I had an overwhelming, like, it almost like washed over me. Alexa, time.
The time is 8:39 p.m.
Alexa, set alarm for 9 p.m.
Alarm set for 9
And essentially, I was sat there and I felt really guilty all of a sudden. I felt like fear and just guilt wash over me. And I went, what happened? I went, who killed who accidentally? And he looked at me as if to go, I haven't told you what's happened. How do you know this? And I go, someone killed someone accidentally, didn't they? And essentially the story was a group of soldiers dropped a bomb off of what they thought was best and ended up killing civilians and lived with that guilt for the rest of their lives. And that guilt attached itself to the objects that were left in the museum. And it was very strong. I also walked past a chessboard, and it felt almost like I could see people playing chess in my head. I was watching them play the game. I wasn't moving the boards, but I was tapping certain squares and I could see them playing it. It was really, really interesting to watch. And after that, we went back downstairs and he was like, oh, no, it wasn't. It was before, as we were leaving, I saw something, so I turned around and he goes, what is it? And I go, I'm pretty sure I've just seen something. I go, I also feel a very childish energy around this area. And he goes, oh yeah, apparently there's a little boy spirit who hangs around here a lot. And obviously, as everyone knows, children's spirit are not it, man. So obviously at that point, I'm a bit kid spirits, right? Now, the one thing I will ask you to do is keep this kid spirit in mind for now, because he will be important later on in the story. Where's my book? I'm also taking a book with me on holiday because it's not a holiday without a book. So I have this book called Simon vs. the Homo Sapien Agenda. I've not long started reading it. It's absolutely amazing. I would 100% recommend. But anyway, I'm going to try and find my other book. There's another book I really want to take. It was edited by Malcolm Monpergo, and I don't remember the name of it. I'll find it and I'll post about it. But essentially, we go back downstairs, and we're a little bit later on. He leads me straight from there down to this other room, and it's the room where we started, but it's further in. We hadn't been down this part of the room yet, and we sat there, and I go, all right, what's this one then? And he goes, that plane in the corner. No, it wasn't. We go through and he explains most of the planes, and there's one he missed. And I go, what was that one? And he goes, that plane, a lot of mediums and a lot of people say they feel and hear things from. He goes, it's not very common people say they see things from this plane, but a lot of people hear things. So I go, okay. I go, what happened with this plane? And they go, basically, British soldiers captured this plane from Argentinian soldiers and threw Argentinian soldiers over the channel. This then obviously led to many soldiers attaching themselves to the plane as it being their last place and all the rest of it, and they kind of held a grudge, which then made them attached to the plane. This kind of meant that there was a lot going on. You could feel there was a lot going on. He left. The guy I was with, he left. And I'm in here by myself at this point. And while I'm there, I sound crazy. I actually sound crazy. And I'm not crazy. I know I've had people come up to me and go, you're schizophrenic. I'm not schizophrenic. I believe in ghosts. I just want to clarify that now. I believe in ghosts. I believe there's more. I'm not Christian, which is such a common misconception. I'm not a Christian. And, if you are Christian, that's amazing. I compliment you on whatever religion you take, because that makes you so much better person than me. I can't lie, genuinely. Religions, I hold my hands up. You guys are amazing. Anybody who's part of religion, I hold my hands up. I applaud you. And I really am, I wouldn't say jealous of you, but I'm jealous of you because you can do that. I can't do that. But I believe there's something more. I don't believe you just die. I think something happens. Something has to happen after you die. Essentially, what I did was I walk through and I stand next to this plane and I take a deep breath and I say, I invite you to talk to me. I invite you to communicate with me. I invite you to make noises if you want to talk to me. I say, but you cannot touch me. You cannot attach yourself to me. You cannot follow me home. You cannot leave with me. You cannot leave this plane. You have to stay here. And I make that so clear. And I admittedly, I know when I'm doing this, I need to use in the name of God, and I didn't. That's where I made the mistake, and that mistake is going to come in later in the story. And I've learned from that mistake, and I know where I went wrong. And essentially, I walked around, I didn't feel anything, nothing was wanting to communicate with me, nothing was trying. And I call up one more time and I go, this is your last chance to talk to me. I went, I will give you 5 seconds or I will walk out the door. I went, you can make a noise, you can talk to me, you can show yourself, you can do anything, just show me that you're here. I want to help, because that's the reason I do this. I want to help spirits who are trapped. I want to help spirits who need it. And that is what I was trying to do. And I turn to leave, and I get 2 paces away when a lump grows in my throat and tears just form in my eyes straight away. And something made me want to turn around. I feel like someone's watching intensely. I feel like someone's staring at me and shouting at me. And I turn around, and I see, and I know this sounds horrible, and it is genuinely, I close my eyes and I can see it again. There was an Argentinian soldier pounding on the window of the helicopter. And you could see he was begging for his life. That is a sight I never in a million years would have thought I would have been seeing. That was about 6 weeks ago. A little bit later on, obviously at this point I've turned, I've left. And I keep going. But as I was leaving that room, there was a thud behind me and footsteps. A little bit later on, I'm sat there. I'm kind of doing my own thing. I'm kind of watching the kids as they're learning air signals, because of obviously where we are. We're teaching them air signals. And I'm sat and I'm watching, or I'm stood and I'm watching. I'm doing it with one of the younger girls. And I see something out of my eye. So we're on the bottom level. There's the level above. And I see something out of the top of my eye, and I look up, and there's a little boy stood there, and I couldn't make out his feature. He looked like a shadow figure, but I could tell he was a little boy. And he saw that I saw him, and he ran off, and I could hear him laughing. It was the strangest thing. And I realised it was the same little boy from earlier. A couple of hours go, literally half an hour goes past, that's it, half an hour goes past. And we're going to watch the finale bit, which is essentially where it explains what each airplane does, what happened, what's what, and all the rest of it. And it gets to the same plane as I had issues with earlier. And I'm waiting because all energies have died down, and I kind of forgot almost that the place was haunted, because everything just stopped after the little boy left. Everything just went dead. No pun intended before anyone tries it there. And I'm stood there with one of the guys. I've just told him everything I've seen from start to finish. I've explained everything. I've told him everything I've felt, everything I've seen, everything I've heard, every little thing, every little detail of spirit stuff that I've seen or heard or anything. And he obviously, we stopped talking, the thing started, and it gets to the final plane, and I take a deep breath, almost of relief, when I look up and that little boy is in the window of the same plane, and it made me jump massively. And obviously I can't shout because of the kids. So I go, oh my God. And I turn around, obviously I have my hand over my face to stop me shouting. And the guy next to me doesn't realise what's going on until I've got to turn around and go, the little boy spirit I told you about is here. He's just made me jump in the window. I saw half of his face and his hand, and that was it. And it's a strange feeling, seeing half a person's face and just their hand on the wall. But essentially after that, we left. And the next morning is when things got a bit weird. So I go home, and I just pass out on the bed. I genuinely am just knocked out. But I always am when it comes to spirits. Genuinely, talking to them just knocks me out. And I was out cold in like 10, not like a couple of minutes after I didn't even have to, like, before my head even touched the pillow. You know, I was just out. But the next morning, I think I got back around 9, maybe past. The next morning, that's normally the time I go to bed anyway. I'm very much an early bed person. I try to be, because otherwise I'm up all night. But I woke up the next morning, and normally I'll get up around 5:30, 6 o'clock. Almost all the time it's 6 o'clock. I'm never up before either 5:30 or 5:45. And I woke up that morning, and it felt like someone was staring at me. It's still dark out. I sit up, and all I see is a little boy stood at the end of my bed. And it clicks that I didn't do it properly. I've never had to say those words. But I did, because I knew something was going to happen and I did it wrong. And for 2 weeks afterwards, at 3:57 every morning, I'd wake up to this little boy somewhere next to my bed. It would always change. And before I know it, spiritual activity has gone through the roof in my room. Even now, I really need to put on slipper socks because my room is so cold all the time, from where there are dead people here all the time. My room is normally one of the hottest rooms in the house. I'm on the top floor. The sun comes in through my window every morning, so my room is supposed to heat up through the day, but my room does the opposite. My room stays cold all day. If you came in my room, my hands would feel like ice, which is not normal for my room, because ever since we've moved in, it's always been warm. There's one spirit specifically that has been in my room for a very long time. She likes my guitar. If I put it away, she knocks it over. There's a lot of times I've caught her at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I've seen her outline, and I've noticed that she's pushed my guitar over and disappeared again. I have had some other experiences too, but this is the only one I'm going to talk about in this video, because this is going to be a long video. Thank you guys for watching me pack and listening to my story. If you guys do want another part to this, let me know, and we'll 100% do a part 2. So, see you guys next time. Bye.